everyone, welcome to the Crazy Asian channel. I am so excited today to be going through the top 4 books that I would consider as self-love, self-help, motivational, devotional, all that good stuff. And in these books, I tend to go back to some of these because I've read them before, and some I just started reading and I'm already falling in love with them, and I cannot wait to share with you guys about these books because honestly, for me, I feel like for growth, we always have to continuously try to improve on our own and surround ourselves with positivity and holding ourselves accountable in order to grow personally and career-wise. And so that's how I started going through and finding some of these books. I also found them through several social medias that have posted these books, and they are like top sellers for bestsellers for books, and I cannot wait to share with you. So first and foremost, this book is so far one of the books that I am just loving so much. It's called Sis, Let's Clean Up This Mess, We Got Shit to Do. And it's by Robin Bloom. And how I knew about this book is from a podcast that I listened to. One of the coworkers that I used to work with hosts this podcast with her best friend. It's called Brunch with Besties. And I'm going to put in the description of where it is, where you can find it in Apple app, but also where you could find it on YouTube to go back to some of the episodes. And one of the episodes was Robin Bloom was on there, and it was just about accountability. And what I love about this book is that Robin talks you through about her journey, how she became a life coach. Some of the struggles that I think that every woman could really relate to is, are we being the best wife? You know, we are held through a society of here is a standard and this is what we expect you to do. Just like when you graduate from high school, you got to hit these milestones. And this book really hit home because I personally believe that everybody has their own journey, everybody has their own timeline, and Robin really hit the nail on the head on this. But she also has exercises in here, and these exercises really bring out some of those vulnerabilities that you may not even realize that you're ignoring them, and it's affecting and creating a mess in your life. And I love it so much, and I actually highlight key areas in here. And for example, permit yourself to speak the ugly side of your truth. Wow, is that really strong? I think it's very important that we speak the truth and really call it for what it is, because the only way you could grow and learn is if you acknowledge those and take that as a lesson and grow with it. And this is why I love this book. So check it out. It's on Amazon, and actually all these books that I'm going to go through is on Amazon. Next book, and I've gravitated to this book way too many times, and probably 20 times if I remember. I even have a little bookmark on here because there's key points in here that I just want to go back and reference on. And it's called Big Money Energy, and it's Ryan Seahart. He's a star of Bravo's $1 Million Listing New York. And what I love about this book, for me personally, is being an engineer and going into entrepreneurship and starting my own business. You know, it's really two different worlds. I'm going out there and now I'm having to be extroverted, and actually, you know, selling is difficult. Selling is very hard, and especially when you're selling your product that you believe in, that is your baby. You know, you go out there and you get shot down, and how can you not be like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. So that's what happened to me when I first started my business, Crazy Asian Wild Seltzer, is I was really nervous going out into, you know, breweries, stepping in there and say, hey, this is my seltzer, and trying to sell my product. Because for me, I believe in my product, and I believe my product tastes very good. But when you get shot down as a small business owner, it's very, very hard. And to really pick yourself back up again. And that's why I gravitated to this book several times, just to give myself a reminder that, you know what, that no is going to turn into yes. And that no should not back me down. And he goes through how he became a realtor, how he's able to sell. And Ryan starts off from the very beginning of his journey, which is, I find, very relatable, that he wasn't a salesman to begin with. He was not somebody that just all of a sudden had that naturally. He developed himself into being where he's at, top seller of real estate. And in each chapter, you know, he goes through really key points of like really motivational and the truth, really. For example, here's one that I fold over. It says, you cannot commit to go bigger if there's even a small part of you that just doesn't believe it's possible. This metro will help you shed any doubt, no matter how microscopic it might be, that you're capable of achieving success on the highest level. You have what it takes. Love that. And I fold it over. When I'm feeling doubt, I read that. Like I said, I read this book a lot of times. It's my favorite. Next one is Katie Piper. She is, I would say, very amazing woman. Her strength, her journey. She is a burn victim. And I followed her on Instagram, and her journey in itself of being attacked by an ex-boyfriend with acid, and how she was able to turn her weakness into strength, into hope, and helping others out there that been attacked by acid. And she's created a foundation over that in the UK, and is doing an amazing job helping other people out. And this is a book that she wrote, and what I love about this is it's called A Little Bit of Faith, Hopeful Affirmation for Every Day of the Year. So not every day I'm able to sit down and read some of these books. And what I love about this is that sometimes when I'm in such a rush, I would just pull up like today's date and I would just read it. So like, for example, today is February 18th. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. You know, and then she goes on and it just gives a brief paragraph of the fact that there's always hope is a huge comfort to me. I draw particular strength from the words future hope in this ancient proverb. Sometimes we don't have the strength to hope in the moment, so it's reassuring to know that it's coming. If you're finding yourself without hope today, fix your eyes on the future and know that the best is yet to come. And I would pick up this book in the morning with a cup of coffee and give myself, you know, a quick 5 minutes before I start my day. And that's this book for anybody that is not into reading or may not have a lot of time to read. This is definitely for you. Next one is The Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results by James Clear. So I saw this book on Instagram on, I don't even remember who had it because it's been a while. And I was so intrigued on it that I went on Amazon and just went ahead and bought it. And what I like about this book is that it goes through and really self-accountability. And, you know, you have these goals, and how do we break those bad habits that we have, whether it's excuses, not being able to go to the gym, for example, or excuses of why you are not able to do your goals, or even just self-improvement in general. This book breaks down every level of habits and kind of go deep as well in like the fundamentals the fundamentals of why we have habits. How do those habits got created? And just like, excuses. How does our excuses become one excuse and then it becomes another excuse and it becomes another? So it kind of gives you a little setback of the psychology portion of it, of like, wait a minute. Once you start creating those excuses, you start creating habits. And the overall of this book, it is definitely a long read. I did struggle for the first chapter reading this book, but then once I start getting into it, it really brought out the depth of habits. How do you break those habits? And it goes into a really deep psychological aspect of it and the journey of James and what works for him, suggestions. This book, I would say, some people may think, okay, this book's going to put you to sleep. I would say that this book is definitely not a quick read. You definitely have to be in the mood for this book because it goes very much in depth. So, these are the top 4 books that I would definitely recommend. And if you had to pick 2 out of this book, I would recommend Sis, Let's Clean Up This Mess, We Got Shit to Do. And then I would pick Kitty Piper, just because daily affirmation, quick, easy read throughout the day. Whenever you have that 5 minutes, go to. And all of these books can be found on Amazon. And I hope you guys enjoy this. And let's stay positive. And I will see everybody on the next video. Thank you.